Mikhail Kucherenko needs this in order to lift the lid and dump out the ashes.
Let's make a bet. If someone doesn't believe it, well, let them put their money on it.
The amps there, a loaf of bread weighs more than them. Zyka suggests dragging the rails to my house.
I sincerely and truly believe that Victor and Rodion are hearing everything that is being said here.
I worked as an electrician for 17 years.
Friends from audio sector, Alexei and Victor, came to visit me. Today we compare two amplifiers. One is the Japanese Accuphase E-4000, or Accuphase, however you prefer to call it. Accordingly, the Russian unit is S.A.Lab White Knight, which operates in class. Usually, Accuphase makes amplifiers that play music in class A, so to speak. But this time it was the other way around. Ours was class A, and the Japanese one was in classic AB.
A very powerful unit. We read somewhere that it's about 180 watts at 8 ohms.
It's both powerful and significantly more expensive, because recently this one cost 400,000 rubles, and this one, 1,100,000. But nevertheless,
ours is 7,000 euros.
Yes. Nevertheless, Alexei is right when he says that our prices are always the lowest. That's the interesting part, comparing things that seem incomparable, but at the same time, we're not comparing, say, a bicycle to a car, right? We're just comparing devices that are a bit different in class. Victor, as our highly respected super expert, what do you have to say about these two amplifiers?
Well, in principle, the S.A.Lab plays very well for its price. It sounds really good. I can't say anything. It's a well-designed, excellent amplifier. Accuphase has a warmer, more comfortable sound, but it's also much more expensive.
And more expensive, yes. Well, what can you say about, say, rock or jazz? Which one do you prefer for each?
Well, I definitely like jazz more on this one. Why? Because here, the instruments are sometimes brought forward, sometimes set back. It's like that. But over there, for some reason, all the instruments seem to be set back behind the stand. That's just how it sounded to me. But again, maybe it's not with these speakers, not with these cables, but that's just how it was.
And what does the esteemed Alexei have to say?
Well, what can I say? I listened to White Knight, and overall, the sound is not bad, but it seemed to me that there was a bit of coloration, and there were also some slight special effects. It seemed to me that compared to the Accuphase, the bass was more pronounced there. Some people like it, some people don't like it. That's it. But maybe it's even, how should I put it? Well, kind of more hypertrophied, really sticking out, more pronounced. That's it. Here, though, the sound is more linear. You could say it's monitor-like, studio engineer sound, but no, not really. It's soft, accurate, linear, and without any embellishments. It just seemed to me that it was more honest. It played this material more honestly. That's it. Well, yeah. So for once, Rodion told us that the Japanese really did a great job.
No, I always speak honestly and objectively. There's no question about it. Of course, the Accu was better. First of all, it simply had, let's say, more power, more drive.
It's scary to crank it up, really.
It controlled the acoustics better. It was significantly better in the bass. Our device has one chansive, the volume is low and the music is light. That's exactly what Class A is for. But when you want drive and you turn on that drive, without a doubt, I always say it like it is. Between these two devices, the Accu won. Well, it definitely showed its class. But again, it's also more expensive. If we had put the S650 here, that would have been a more proper battle, because there you have about 30 to 40 watts per channel. There, you would get a little over 30 watts in Class A, so yes. Well, as always, my theory has once again been confirmed. If you have to choose between amplifiers, you should definitely go for the more powerful one, all other things being equal, because the control will be better, the quality will be better, and, well, the sound will simply be better. I can't say that black is white. You understand? You always have to be objective. I liked it.
Yesterday, you compared it on another system, and we quickly switched between the Denon and the SX Unlimited, which has 50 watts per channel. Only 50.
Which one did you like more?
Well, on dynamic music, where the bass really comes through.
That one should just blow it away. No contest.
Well, the Denon was better, yes. But again, that was on the front speakers, on the on-cue speakers, yeah.
Depends, well...
What's the sensitivity of the speakers?
I don't remember. Sort of...
I think it's 91.
Maybe 89.
No, probably 91.
See?
To be honest, we were scared to turn it up the same way. We only went to about 9 or 10 o'clock. We didn't turn it up much, even though it was 50 watts. So, let's bring the SX1 Limited in the next episode.
Yeah.
And that will be a more or less proper comparison. It's 50 watts there and here, same.
Yeah. That will be interesting.
Because back then, Victor and I compared the SX and the Mac. What do you think?
Well, the Mac, of course, yeah. The Mac 6800,
We had the highly respected Ivan Ivanovich here with us, sitting with us.
No, he's stronger, definitely stronger. He definitely outperformed there.
On that point, we were in complete agreement. So, dear friends, please subscribe to the channel and give us a like. Come visit us whenever you can, Alexi.
Well, although I can say this, if we're talking about Denon, when it comes to electronic music, for example, let's say yes for modern music, I wouldn't say that it really lost badly to the Mac Note, that it lost badly to the Mac Bat. It was also quite good. Not bad.
All those tracks where there's that synthetic bass, like Prodigy or something like that, where it's really...
Yeah, exactly like that.
Not a natural bass, but where it's specifically that kind of synthetic sound. Denon really killed it there, you know.
Well, let's say, again, that's on your speakers, right? That's in your system, right? Here, I'm saying it's a completely different system. You see, everything is already different here.
Unfortunately, that's the reference I have set up.
If only we had that fifth method here, right?
Yeah, did you like them? But you see, Denon just couldn't drive them at all, so to speak. That's why. But the Mac drove them without any problems.
The Mac, yes.
It controlled them very well. By the way, Victor, what do you think? I saw you had some kind of note there.
Yes, I had a note. All right, that's from the note. You know, our guys, they're always writing things down. We have some really good guys there. There are comments there. I didn't really read them. I just glanced over, the guys. There's this guy, so apparently there's a place called Sunny City. So there are 3 people there. That's Zaika, Gnidoy, and Bioka. And they're all writing about the electric stuff, all of that. Zaika is suggesting to lay rails to my house, rails. I'm suggesting, Gnidoy is suggesting actually he's a great electrician with more than 10 years of experience. 10 years of experience.
And he thinks that the cable doesn't matter.
No. He writes there that we're reckless and so on and so forth. Basically, that we don't understand anything. I'm just explaining to the guys. Once again, I'm saying my work experience includes 17 years as an electrician and 5 or 6 years as an electrical technician. Yes, that's right. I also completed courses for TV repair technicians. But again, compared to some outstanding masters, I'm basically a nobody. So once again, I'm saying I don't understand anything. Out of 100%, I'm only at 20. And the guys say, like in interviews, they write about this and that here and there. Well, I think, for example, your Zyka or mine, someone wrote to me to lay some rails. Now, spring has come, but what difference does it make? Spring has come. The weather is really nice. There's a men's barbershop. Go into the men's barbershop and ask them to give you a hairstyle on your head that looks like rails, but with the ties included. It'll be a new hairstyle, trendy, a really cool and fashionable haircut that doesn't exist anywhere else. Not among football players, not Messi, not Ronaldo, no one has it. So this will be the hairstyle. Even Pele never had a hairstyle like this. So this will be the newest thing. All these guys, all of them. First of all, the perception of sound, right? That's what all these renowned electricians are writing about. Once again, I'm saying, please let them go and buy T-shirts. Their T-shirts make a logo and write, I am a renowned electrician. So that will be their T-shirt. Like, for example, AC/DC or Messi. So they'll have T-shirts with a renowned electrician on them.
I agree with Victor in this regard. I'm also tired of reading these so-called experts.
It's simple.
Electricians, they all know physics well. I also got a B in physics at school. Basically, I know it pretty well. I've read a lot of Hawking, was really into it. There really are, and I'll repeat this again, so many unknown laws in physics. And to say things like, this cable has an effect, this one doesn't, is just, it's all complete nonsense. Well, for some reason, it can be heard. And what do you think about blind tests in general? That's also interesting.
And Alexei, it depends on what equipment you're using.
For example, when I do a blind test, I can hear the difference.
No, I'll say it again. It depends on what equipment you're using. If the equipment is worthless, if it's basically nothing, then you can do as many blind tests as you want. But if the equipment is good, for example, they're not going to show you 50 different cables. Let's say there are 3 power cables lying there, for instance. For example, they play us something on simple cables, not a blind test. We listen to this sound, then to that one, and then the other. Then we close our eyes or turn away or whatever, and then turn on the starter. We'll be able to tell 100%. But again, that's on high quality equipment.
We're talking about cables, right? We're talking about cables?
Yes.
No, what I want to say is that I truly believe that Victor and Rodion really do hear all this. If someone doesn't believe it and says, well, do a test, prove it to us, record a blind test to show that you really can hear it, then I say to you, well, let's make a bet. So if someone doesn't believe it, well, let them put some money on it. I don't know, 100, 200, within reason, whatever amount they have. I'll put up some money from my side as well. That's all there is to it. We'll take part, we'll do this blind test, but not just sitting somewhere on the internet and typing something. So do you want to check it out? Well, then go ahead. Place a bet. If you don't believe it, if you want to test it, just place a bet and then we'll prove it. That's my suggestion.
No, if the equipment is of a very high class, really high, detailed and precise, if it's well designed, then there are no questions. Even a blind test, do a blind test if you want. You change the cable, right? From cheap to expensive, you can hear everything right away. But there are cases where you might not guess correctly. For example, if the cables are all in the same price range, say power cables that each cost $1,000, 3 of them, for instance. But here somewhere, something might already...
I mean, if we're going to argue, we take an ordinary cable from the store.
Well, that's obvious, no.
And then we take what you consider to be a really good, truly reference cable. That's it. And what we'll be comparing in the blind test isn't just two great cables, but roughly speaking, from the top all the way down to the very bottom.
Lesha, when you look on the internet, it's the same thing. For example, reviews, right? There are guys like, for instance, there's this one professor in glasses sitting there discussing connectors, cones, talking about all sorts of things about expensive cables, about fuses. He sits there laughing, saying, "You all fools, suckers, idiots." I watch him, listen to him, and then I check out his reviews. He just never actually watched any reviews, but he shows what he gets, laughs, just sits there laughing to himself. He gets a little box and says, "Look, an amplifier." And then he says, "Look inside the amplifier." He keeps opening the lid 50 times, like, "Here's the amplifier. This kind of amplifier fits in your palm, and the lid is plastic. What nice components." So this amplifier, this particular amplifier, Mikhail Kucherenko would need it just to lift the lid and tap his ashes into it. To tap the ashes from his cigar in there. But we're not even talking about an amplifier like that. An amplifier starts at 20 kilograms, 30, 40, 70 kilos. Some of those amps, a loaf of bread weighs more than that amplifier. What are we even talking about? Whether it's class E or ABC or even a full vitamin complex. Come on, are you kidding me? What could you possibly expect from that? What kind of speakers would you even connect it to?
I agree with Victor. Even if you take a good quality class D amplifier, for example, AUI, I think they have a lot.
Yes.
Because class D has a major issue with interference, and you really need to separate the switching power supply, which as a general rule...
Well, that's obvious, yes.
Everything affects everything else there quite a lot. And to separate all that and achieve the highest sound quality, you really need to invest in that particular architecture.
Well, of course, that's obvious.
I would just approach it like this. If this one is good, that's how you check everything. But if you can just walk by with it under your arm, then, well, that's already...
No, well, that's clear. He says he's going to unbox some little boxes, some kind of boxes. What are these boxes? I just can't figure out what these boxes are for. Some kind of DAX or whatever they're called.
Thank you for stopping by. We're searching for the truth together. We're figuring out what's better, what sounds higher quality. So make sure to subscribe to Alexev's YouTube channel and to my Telegram as well. We'll be releasing a couple of videos there soon too. Thank you.